G'day, Max right here, and as you know, on this channel we are super pro Bitcoin, lots of good stuff all the time, news, technical analysis, all the good things. Something we don't do often enough is check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. And so this video, I'm just going to take a look at the arguments against Bitcoin, and not so much as a technology, because I think that's as a foregone conclusion. Blockchain and cryptocurrency at least is the tits. It's world changing. And it's just going to be one of the greatest inventions humankind has ever come up with. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But that doesn't mean it's not easy to lose money with Bitcoin. Just because you know that and you've done the research and you've positioned yourself there, that doesn't mean it's not really, really easy to lose money. And so I just wanted to take a look at the arguments against holding Bitcoin right now at this particular moment. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in this video from a Bitcoin bull's perspective, which is what I am. And so a couple things to look at here. By the way, let me know, do you think that sometimes you get too euphoric just like me and don't look at the negative side enough? Let me know in the comments below. Smash that subscribe button. If you don't, you will love this channel. I can guarantee it. So, all right, let's talk about this. There's a couple things. As a commentator, it's so much more sensible to be bullish than bearish for two main reasons. One, people don't look up videos to see where something's going to crash. If they don't think it's going to crash, they're not interested in it. They look up videos to see what's exciting. So, to get more views and get more subscribes, it's really easy to talk about the positives all the time. Second reason is that the bull climbs the stairs and the bear jumps out the window. What that means is, on any given day, if you are to say you're bullish, you're probably 80 to 90% chance right, because you spend a lot more days going up than you do going down. And so there's a second incentive to always be bullish. But here's the catch to that. The cost when the bear comes and jumps out the window, the value of being right at that time is huge. Absolutely monstrous, because the move happens so much faster. And if you can avoid that move or even play it and short it, whatever, you can make so much more money in a down market than an up market. And so with that in mind, I realized I fall victim to this too, and I've been doing it lately, and I've been only watching the crypto videos where we talk positive all the time. And something came up on my feed that I'm glad I watched it, and it just made me check myself before I wreck myself. And it was another point of view. I'm going to play it with this one particular sentence that just kind of hit me between the eyeballs. And it's from Harry Dent. A lot of you will know Harry Dent. He's been saying the sky is falling for a long time. This is true. And he's been wrong. So it's one of those things where, look, when you say the sky is falling, you're going to be wrong the vast majority of the time. If you go on, by time. But if he's right, then by value, even though it happens in a much shorter time span, it could turn out a very good play for him. So I encourage you to be open-minded to that for a moment and listen to just this one simple thought that is about Amazon or .com bubble. And I think it's really important to understand.
Another topic for my newsletter coming up, Bitcoin could have just peaked at 58,000, a little over 58,000, because it got overvalued for the first time. And it's hard to get bullish sentiment on Bitcoin since the people are so bullish. People who love Bitcoin think it's going to go up forever and never crash. I mean, they're in la la land. I know a bunch of them down here. Some of them are good friends. That's just the way they think. It's the great new thing, and I agree with them. But the .coms were the great new thing and crashed like crazy too in the early 2000s. So
that thing about the .com, let's go and check that out, right? I mean, most of us know the narrative, but here is the Amazon chart, right? For Amazon stock, currently $3,000. But let's go back here. Let's go back way back, all the way to, so Amazon's stock starts off, 1997, okay? 1997, you can buy it for less than $1. Within 3 years, it is up to $113, right? And for all those people who had the vision of the internet and understood that the internet was going to be the next big thing and it is the tits, they were 100% right. But so many of them got up here at this kind of time frame, and then after the .com bubble, it crashed back down to $6. Okay? Now so a couple things that just okay, let's check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. Just because we are right about Bitcoin does not mean you cannot get slaughtered. Okay? Now, here's another thing. If you are right about a coming correction, how sweet would it be to have bought Amazon down here at $6? It's now at $3,000. But this took like 20 years to happen, by the way. Yeah, but this is 20 years ago. Yeah, Bitcoin's cooler and more exciting and moves up much faster than that. So which is very cool. It's not a little bit cool. It's very cool. I love it. So I just thought, hey, yeah, that's really good, right? Like, as much as I understand the fundamentals, and as much as I understand how broken the system is, as much as I understand all this thing, I can still be completely right and still get hosed in crypto. So another consideration. Bitcoin was invented in 2009. The last crash we had was in 2008. It's never seen a broad market crash. It's never seen one. We don't know how it's going to react. I mean, I can tell you with a fair amount of confidence, it will get smashed like everything else. Just like everything else, it will get smashed. My thesis is that when that day of reckoning comes, and I think we're pretty close to it, by the way. I don't think we're 10 years away from it. When that day of reckoning comes, Bitcoin will get smashed just as hard, if not harder, than everybody else. But then it will come out of it very, very fast. Very, very fast. Just so you know, that's my thesis. By the way, Harry Dent just said he thinks the top is in. Just so you know, I don't think the top is in with Bitcoin. I'm not suggesting that. That just happened in Harry's clip that. But he did, the point about, being a little bit cautious here is true. Bitcoin has never, ever, ever seen a market crash. Typically, crashes in the broad market happen every 4 to 7 years. There has been, I think, 47 booms and busts in the history of the United States. They happen every 4 to 7 years. We haven't had one since 2008. That is 13 years. We are massively overdue. Overdue. Elsewhere in that interview with Harry Dent, he talks about the Dow Jones. Let's go and take a look at this now and check out the Dow Jones Megaphone pattern. All right, where are you? We have two Megaphone patterns here. I mean, there's this Megaphone pattern, okay? But there is another one. Let me show you this one. There's this one. And then here would be the, I didn't draw that quite right. But then here's the other bottom to that Megaphone, right? So there's these two Megaphone patterns here where this thing just oscillates wildly up and down, up and down. And Megaphone patterns, by definition, can't go on forever. You can't go open, open, open. Something has to happen. And usually Megaphone patterns break at the bottom, right? So you've got this, he draws attention to the fact that you have this, and this is actually better drawn here, that you have this extension beyond the Megaphone pattern on the Dow Jones, which is very often an example or a precursor to when the Megaphone crashes down. The Megaphone pattern finally breaks up in a euphoria and then crashes down, so a blow off top. So listen, that is a thing. I've got a video that I made a good 6 months to a year ago, and it talks about Harry Dent's predictions, Mike Maloney's, and Peter Schiff's. Okay, all three of them guys I respect a lot, guys who have a lot of knowledge on the economy, and they've been the sky is falling for a very long time, And when you do that, you're wrong a lot. This is true because of that timing thing I told you. 80% of the time, 90% of the time, the things, Bitcoin's going up, stock market's going up. But the value of when you're right is huge because those markets move so fast. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of dismissing them just because they're wrong a lot. And they've been talking about the sky is falling for a long time. And so they have been wrong for a lot and they've missed out on a lot. At some point, they will be right. Even a broken watch is right twice a day, right? They will be right. And the value of that is going to be huge. So just something to consider. So where else do I want to take this? I just think it's important to talk about this. So we've got this, we're at the very, very top end of a Megaphone pattern in the Dow Jones, arguably a dual Megaphone pattern in the Dow Jones. We have this situation where we're at all-time high in stock market. Bitcoin's just gone on an epic run. You can argue there's fundamentals there because there's all the money printing. It's a new reserve asset. I get all the fundamentals, but I talk about all those things on this channel a lot. But there is definitely an argument to suggest that there's going to be a crash in the market, and Bitcoin hasn't seen that. And when it happens, I mean, arguably it has. So it happened in March of 2020, right? The coronavirus crash, and Bitcoin gets smashed 50%, right? Let's go and check it out. Let's go and see it. I know a little bit too far. Here, we can live with that. Okay. And Bitcoin comes up here to 14,000 and change, crashes back down to 14. And actually, so it started crashing down here, just this candle here. This is March 2020. If you go just from here, it goes from 9,000 down to 3,000 and something, right? So it was greater than a 50% cut in 1 month of the coronavirus. But that was kind of the tail end of this larger move. So, right, Bitcoin can do this, and it's seen a little glimpse, but the Dow Jones has recovered, Bitcoin has recovered way better than everything else. Yes, awesome. But when a big market crash happens, when a 1929 event happens, and I believe it absolutely is inevitable, then Bitcoin is going to get hurt a lot. And so you want to be very, very cautious about being in large leveraged positions, right? They can be phenomenal when they work, but when you get toasted, you will get toasted hard. So how do you play all this? Am I saying run for the hills, don't buy Bitcoin? No, I'm not. Look at this run up though. It looks bubblicious, but Bitcoin's looked bubblicious dozens of times in the past, and it just keeps going and going and going. So you can't put too much stock in that. So how do we play this? How do we manage it? What are we going to do about it? And I'm just looking at this volume chart here. This is interesting, although we're early in the month here, so that's that one explained. But I just noticed the volume going down here is a little bit interesting in the month. So, okay, where does this leave us with all this stuff? What I want to say is just exercise some caution. It depends on where you are in the market, right? Be very cautious of holding long-term leveraged positions. And just make sure, if you are someone like me, and like not everyone is, it's like a lot of you and you guys, this advice won't apply. But if you've been around for a very long time, you have this huge Bitcoin position, and just depending on where you are in the world, I have other businesses that are going very, very well as well. So I have lots of cash, right? I could go and take all that cash and pour it all into crypto. I'm not doing that for this exact reason. And this is the reason I went looking for these negative videos, is to remind myself, check myself before I wreck myself. I don't need to bet the farm on this. I have a huge Bitcoin position, right? I don't need to go all in on it. I don't need to, right? There's just no need to. There is absolutely no need for me to do it. If I was younger and had less to lose, yeah, I probably would go all in, right? I would. So it depends on the position you're in. There's a lot of things going on here. Depends on what stage of life you're in, your risk appetite, all the different things. So I wanted to do this for myself. I wanted to do it for you. It's so easy to get caught up in it's going up forever and ever and ever. And it's good to be mindful of the fact that when you're wrong and it doesn't go up, usually you're wrong spectacularly. And so we're just going to see. Bitcoin could fall victim to this broader cycle. I mentioned this video, Mike Maloney, Harry Dent, Peter Schiff. I'll put a link in the description here for it. You really, really should watch it. I go through each of their 3 theses and tell you which one I align with the most. The one I align with the most, I'll tell you right now, is Mike Maloney. I think there will be a vicious crash, and then I think Bitcoin leads us out of it and does spectacularly well. So that's the sum up, but you really should watch that video. It gives you a lot more detail and I go into their arguments a lot better. Guys, I know you probably don't want to like this button because it's a little bit of a scary you don't want to hit the like button because this is a scary video. It's a little bit like, no, I just want the good, warm, fuzzy feelings that Bitcoin's going up forever. But that's not reality. There will be crashes in our future. 30% for sure. 80% possible. Some say likely. Some say maybe that's a little bit too much. But I say no, that is absolutely a possibility because I think the whole market can do that. So do me a favor, smash the like button if you like the reality check, and hit subscribe if you have not done that on this channel before. Before we go, let's take a quick look at SimplyHodl.com, what I think is the best news site out there for crypto. It's like a Drudge Report for crypto. I really like this headline. Israeli pension giant puts in $100 million into the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Why is this point? $100 million, it's just the trickle. It's the trickle of the big institution money coming in. just almost at least once a week, usually more frequently than that, some big pension fund, some big corporation, some Fortune 500 company, some publicly listed company just goes ahead and gets themselves into Bitcoin. It's just that's the never-ending trickle of big money coming in. And a cool tweet out here from a Bitcoin OG. This guy had, from Tyler Winklevoss, he had over $1 million in Bitcoin back when Bitcoin was about $10. Just so to give you an idea about where he's at. He's sitting on most likely something in the order of 100,000 Bitcoin. He's telling us Bitcoin next stop 60K. Let's go. I tend to agree. So let's go back to the daily. We'll do a quick market analysis here. I think we're going to break through. We're on the daily. I think we are going to break through. We're very close to approaching the top here, and I think we will smash through the top. I think we'll smash through 60,000. And this trade that I told you I was doing, I got in right here on the breakout of this bull flag. It's turning out to be an absolute gem so far, and I think we're going to keep on going here all the way. I think we're going to get up to around, definitely into the 60s, and I think we'll break through 70,000 as well. Let me put it here. My target here, let me get it on the screen, is 73,000. Okay? That's what my target is for this rally before we see the next leg down. All right, guys, again, subscribe if you haven't done that. Love to see you guys on the channel more regularly, and we'll see you soon. Take care.